How do exempt and non-exempt rules affect your overtime pay? Imagine working long hours and wondering if you'll get paid extra for those extra hours. It all depends on whether you're classified as exempt or non-exempt under the law. This classification can make a big difference in how much you earn for overtime. Exempt employees are generally those in executive, administrative, professional, computer, or outside sales roles. To be considered exempt, they usually must be paid on a salary basis, earning at least a set minimum salary each week. For example, under federal law, that minimum is $468 per week, which adds up to $25,616 annually. They also need to perform specific job duties that meet the criteria for exemption. Non-exempt employees are typically paid hourly or earn less than the minimum salary threshold. They often do manual, technical, or routine work. The key point is that non-exempt workers are entitled to overtime pay. If they work over 40 hours in a single week, their employer must pay them at 1.5 times their regular hourly rate for each extra hour. This rate includes most forms of pay, like hourly wages, commissions, and some bonuses, but not all types of bonuses or reimbursements. For non-exempt workers, employers need to track every hour worked accurately. If they work more than 40 hours, they must pay the overtime rate. Some states also requiring overtime for hours worked beyond 8 in a day, which can give workers even more protection. On the other hand, exempt employees are not entitled to overtime pay, no matter how many hours they work. Employers can expect them to put in longer hours without extra pay if needed. While some companies might offer additional benefits or bonuses, these are not required by law for exempt workers. Misclassification can cause problems. If an employer wrongly classifies a non-exempt worker as exempt, that worker might not receive owed overtime wages. Employees who believe they are misclassified can file claims to recover unpaid wages. Employers should carefully analyze job duties, salary levels, and pay structures to stay compliant. In cases of unpaid overtime, non-exempt workers can seek to recover the wages they are owed, plus any penalties allowed by law. Employers must also follow state-specific rules, which sometimes have stricter overtime laws or lower salary thresholds for exemptions. To sum up, if you're classified as non-exempt, you are protected by law to receive overtime pay 4 hours over 40 in a week. If you're exempt, you won't get overtime, even if you work extra hours. Proper classification is essential to make sure workers get paid fairly and to avoid costly legal issues.